easily shift into another. This Borgia map from 1440 didn't want to have to choose between those two fears, so instead it states both. It says, here there are people who have large 4-foot horns and serpents so large they could eat an ox whole. And that message is engraved there right over the current location of Tokyo Disney. So they were right, but I don't know how they saw Sleeping Beauty back in 1410. Now we can laugh at these examples of fears that turned out to be baseless and wrong-headed, but we also have to remember that our fears have real consequences in our lives and in our world. Fear can lead us to regrettable and unfaithful even behavior. Many of our fears are conditioned from a young age. They're passed down through the generations, or they're absorbed through our social surroundings. Racism and xenophobia, an irrational fear of people from other cultures or nations, they've caused great harm to us as a society in the past, and they continue to resurface in the politics of today. In 1933, at his first inauguration, Franklin Delano Roosevelt famously proclaimed that we have nothing to fear but fear itself. But fear continued to dominate our decision-making as a nation. In 1939, a few months into World War II, a bill was introduced in Congress to accept an additional 20 today. That is fantastic news. I mean, that is something to celebrate, but that news really only made the headlines once, and that was on the day that this study was reported. Since that time, the headlines have been dominated by the violent crime that still remains, and that shapes our perception. It creates a love God,